Checking and cleaning your gear. Now, this is a great time to take everything apart and give everything a really good inspection and check everything for wear and tear and write a list of all the parts that you may need. You could have coil pins to even coil covers or brackets. Now, this is also a good time to check all the plastics for cracks. Check all parts and pivot points for damage, splits, as it could be a good time to start doing a shopping list, getting yourself a budget and writing down what is able to be replaced or something you may look at upgrading possibly. Now, a good thing to do is to always put parts back in. If you've got bolts, screw them back together and put them back into their spots, so that way you don't lose them. Now, as you can see here, I've got a coil cover, and it's a good time to take it off, give it a good clean, and remove all that soil and mineralised dirt underneath that can give you false signals. And it's also a good time to replace, as these are cheap parts, and best thing to do to protect your gear for the longevity of your equipment. Now here I'm going to take this coil cover off, and then I'll inspect the coil, check all the plastic, make sure there's no possible chances of anything in the housing of the coil. There could be cracks or leaks or allow water ingress and cause any damage to the coil. And giving that equipment, as you can see, as it's been through a bit of mud, can actually give that coil better performance in the field. And it's a good time now while you got the chance to do it. Now here is one of my spare detectors and one that I keep stored. And one that I keep as a spare just in case out in the field. Now, as you can see, as I'm cleaning this equipment, I'm checking the bolt holes, pivot points, and double checking for splits and cracks in all this equipment, because it's a good time now to pick up whether or not it's damaged rather than getting out into the field and having your equipment fail, as that can put downtime into your detecting. And now's a good time to do it, because I can then go, okay, save up, budget, and get myself a replacement coil. Or if your equipment's still under warranty, you can then go through the process of getting it replaced or repaired. As you'll see, I'm giving this a really good clean, making sure every part is all cleaned off. And it's a great way of making sure that all the housing and all the parts are in good working order and there's little or no wear and tear. Now, as you can see there, that coil protector has really protected that coil and looks absolutely brand new. This coil's never been swung without a coil protector, so now's a good time to get in, check out prices, and do a bit of shopping around and do a bit of research on equipment and get a new coil cover and replace it and keep that equipment going right into the future. So now, another thing to check is cabling. So making sure where the cable attaches to the coil still seals, there's no splits, no damage, as the last thing you want is water ingress getting into that coil. Checking those pivot points, making sure those lugs are not split or cracked, and making sure that the cable jacket is not got any cracks or splits, because that's the last thing you need is the cabling to be exposed, as that can cause false signals and cause more drama out in the field. Now, next step is to get in and put this to the side and start with checking the housing or control unit. Now, giving this control unit a good clean, checking it for any cracks, checking the display, all the buttons for any damage, or the screen not showing certain parts, can also be another good time to either replace or get things repaired under warranty as well. Now, as I go through this, I'll also check the pins and the plugs for the audio control or headphones, or for the coil plug, as it's a good time to make sure there's nothing stuck in there, or there's no water, there's no grease, and the plug's able to give good connection. Checking the arm cups, checking straps, making sure there's nothing soiled, damaged, split or cracked that can cause discomfort. Checking the stem, control arms, and also going through and double checking that the drain hole on the end of your shaft is not blocked. Now, this is a good time to remove batteries. Check batteries that they're not swollen, especially rechargeable batteries, as if they're damaged, don't recharge, or they can cause further damage or even cause batteries to explode. So it's a good time to check batteries, replace batteries, and remove batteries from equipment so they don't cause corroded terminals or any damage to your unit later on while it's in storage and not being used. Always replace equipment and return parts so that way they don't get lost when in storage. Now, pinpointers, exact same thing. Checking the housing, checking sure that all the parts are working, double check the light works, double check the speaker works, and double check everything from the writing to anything. And now's a good time to clean it up, get all the dirt out of all the grooves, and just make sure that it's in great working order. Another thing to check is the tip. Make sure the tip's not too worn, and it's a good time to look at things of maybe getting a tip protector for your pinpointer, and making sure there's no dirt blocking the little outlets for the speaker. It's also another good time too to double check that the buttons on these, as our a waterproof unit, are not split or damaged, as that allow water ingress. Removing the batteries from these two is also a great idea for long-term storage, as the last thing you want to do is have a battery or a rechargeable battery split, leak and corrode terminals. Now is also a good time too to double check the threads, make sure it hasn't been cross-threaded, make sure there's no dirt damage in there, and also double check there's an O-ring seal on these caps. Make sure they're not split, cracked or damaged, because that'll also allow water to penetrate the unit and cause damage. Double check. It doesn't hurt to make sure all your gear is in great working order. Then store gear, store equipment, make sure everything's in place, nothing's missing, and you've got spares and everything ready to go. So as soon as everything's all clear to go back out into the field, that you're ready to go and your equipment's good and in top condition to get you out there in the field to enjoy and spend most of the time. Building yourself a test bed. Now, you can do this if you've got a backyard. Do it away from fences, power lines. We don't want that interference to be able to do a test bed. We want to be able to have a clearer signal just with the targets we're after and the targets we want to listen for. We don't want things like electrical magnetic fields in the road, and we don't want things like large metal fences getting in the road of the detector. So if you don't have a backyard, another way to do it is with a large tub. So I'll take you through this video and show you how to build a test bed. So what I have in front of me right here is the targets that I'm going to place in my test bed. Now, what I've got is a penny, a 5-cent coin, and a 1-cent coin. Now the pennies and 1-cent coin ring up a little bit higher on the detectors, where a 5-cent coin gives a bit of a mid-tone. And I'm going to place that amongst bottle caps, ring pulls, old screws, old nails, and old lead bullets. So in a tub this size, this is plenty of targets. And what we'll do is we'll go through and we'll put our targets all at different levels. So what I want to do is put a small target higher or lower, and you get the idea of the signal strengths. So to first begin with, what I like to do is to get to understand your detector is put them at the same height, because then you'll understand what a smaller target, copper target, will do compared to a larger target. You get that softer sound and the higher sound come through at the same depth, and that's where you'll get your ear in on what your detector's trying to tell you with that coin size and depth signals. So that's a good one to do. So what we'll do is we'll place a good target at one end, big target at the other. So there's no use of trying to hide these targets. You want to know where they are, and we're going to be swinging our detector over this. So this here is about 6 inches, so it's a good, nice size depth. Now, the 5-cent coin, which is going to give us a nice mid-tone target, we're going to place right there. Now, the bottle cap. The bottle caps always signal up very well with the detector, because obviously they're a round target, they're a unison bit of metal, and they're good to foolers. So we'll place that in there as well. Ring pulls, same thing again. They're a round target, they're a unison bit of metal. They also give us a good signal as well. So we're going to pop that in there. Now amongst that, I'm going to place a screw. Now I like to place the screws in my target bed long ways, so when you swing you get that long sound, and it's great to hear it. And then you got another variation of another long sound coming through as well. Now I'm going to pop this lead bullet close to that mid-tone target, just so I can get that variation of sound. Now later on, after you've had a play, after it all being on the bottom, you can have a test run of changing the heights of all those targets. But for now, we're just going to go for a basic test bed and for something that you can learn to begin with. Alright guys, so now I'm going to cover this with soil and come back to you. I filled my tub with dirt, as you can see. Now I'll inset a picture of the targets across the bottom as you can see them. Now the best thing to do with this now is place this somewhere, not on concrete, not in your house obviously. Don't want to be making a nice mess, you're going to get in some good trouble. But you're going to want to put this somewhere where there's no other targets. So do a test swing with your detector. Check the ground that you're putting on is clean and clear, because you don't want to be accidentally picking up metal targets or whatever, getting in the road. You're doing your test bed, this is what it's for. It's a controlled environment for you to test to see if you're doing the right thing with your detector and getting used to your detector. So the best thing you can do right now, check, make sure that where you're going to place this is clear of all other metal objects. There's nothing in the road. You're not doing it inside the house, because the other thing you're going to pick up too is screws, nails, floor, concrete, reinforcement in the concrete, stuff like that. So place this outside somewhere, put it somewhere where you can have a nice swing over it and you can hear and detect away. Now I've got my dais. You don't have to have it connected on the metal detector. You can have this sitting on the ground and you can go through it and you can just swing over it. And what we want to do is get that sound. We want to hear that sound coming through as you go over the tub, and you want to hear that 1-cent coin. Pick up the nails and screws and hear that interference, and you want to hear that come through. So that's the great thing about this test bed. Now I'll do a little demonstration video. I'll take it outside, have a quick swing over it, and we'll have a look and have a bit of a play. Now these are great, like I said, for people who are beginners, all that sort of stuff. Are also good for practice, especially if you're going from one metal detector to another. Another great thing to do is have both metal detectors there, and then at different times turn one on, check, get used to the one that you know of, the one you've had more experience with, because you'll understand it better. Test that, have a play, and then bring in the other one, bring in the new one, the next metal detector you're going to be using the most, and have a play with it and get used to it and learn it and go from there. So they're a great thing to do, and something great when you're stuck at home and you want to be able to have a bit of practice or learn how to use a detector or get used to those different sounds and get your ear in with a detector. So a great thing to do. Alright guys, so I'll do a quick demo and we'll go from there. I've got the test bed laying on the ground and I'm going to swing over it. So you can hear that would be the penny coming through. You hear the scratch of the other tones, the targets. Now, there's that 1 cent. And this is what we're talking about. So this is what the test bed's great for. Now you can hear the penny comes through really loud and clear. Then you got the softness of that 1 cent coin. Now you can hear the crackle of those other targets coming through the screws and nails. So, as you saw in the demonstration, swing the detector over top, see if you can hear those good, bad signals coming through. They're a great idea, they're a good bit of fun, and they're a great way to practice. Alright guys, so I hope you got a little bit of fun out of that one, and a little bit of knowledge from that one. But if there's a means, there are a way. So if you don't have a backyard, portable test bed, bench testing. So this is a great bit of fun you can have at home, and good way to learn your detector and the different sounds and signals it can make. Now, even if you've been using your detector for a while, this is a great way of doing controlled signal testing to see what sort of reaction that your detector has to different targets. Now, what we can do is we can control the targets and the way that they show to the coil. So they could be, for example, this penny. The penny could be side on or edge to the coil, or it could be completely flat. Now, the other thing to do is vary the angles. So you can go for there. So nice, flat. It's coming up with great tone there. You can also check out your VIDs or your TIDs on your target display. See what sort of numbers that are coming back, but also get used to the idea of how close it is. Gives you that double signal, that double tap, right? Tells you how close you are to your detector. Then a variety of things. So I've got a florin here, nice shiny silver coin. Great way of learning. So, and now we can learn the differences. So here is a threepence. All right, so, and that's on edge to the coil. Now, flat onto the coil. And what we can learn from this is the distance. So that softness to the coil. Alright, these are all the different things we can do. Now, different things, iron. See how it's got that real long tone. It might come up a bit high for what is iron, but it's got a long, long tone. Edge on. Shouldn't come up. Flat on, right? All these different things. You might get fooled by this out in the field, but by bench testing, you hear it come through, it sounds iffy, high, low, high, low. Great way to learn. Same thing, ring pulls. Side on. You can hear it come through, it's iffy compared to, there's no mistake in that, you know what I mean? And then you've got that long tone, you know what I mean? That's the different things we can hear at. Bottle cap. Orientate it. Get used to having what sort of discrimination you got. Okay, I've got this set for 10 plus. You can hear it come through etchy. But bottle caps, they get dropped on the ground, stepped on, and they perfectly puncture the ground and sit flat for ages. And this is a lot of time why I pick up bottle caps. It's because bottle caps will come through on this high tone, but it's that long tone. Yeah. You know what I mean? That long tone sound we're looking for. Bullets. Long ways. There's that long tone. And this is the thing that we can learn from bench testing, is it's always good to, if you pick up a target from one direction, to go 90 degrees to that target and swing the other way. Because then we can get different orientations of what the target is in the ground. Will it be pointing straight up and down, long ways, short edge. Get used to all those different sounds. Okay guys, so good things you can do. Bench testing, it's a great way of doing it. It's a good way to get to understand your detector and the sounds and the tones and the way it's talking to you. My saying with metal detectors is that it's all about the detector is trying to tell you something. You just got to understand what it's telling you. Alright guys, great way of doing it. Get out there and have a go at this yourself. It's a good lot of fun and it's a great way to learn your detector. find yourself different targets. Now, if you don't have a variety like this, like I do, then try and do 5-cent coins, 10-cent coins, money you got sitting around in your wallet. You find them anywhere. Lo and behold, 1 2-cent coins, as a metal detectorist, you're going to find these absolutely everywhere. So they're a great coin you can go and get. I'm guaranteed just about every household's got one of these laying around. If they're not in your backyard, I'll be very surprised. Check underneath your clothesline. And that leads me into the next thing, is in your backyard, get out there. If you've got the space in the backyard to go detect, check out your clothesline, where the clothesline used to be, and check out the backyard and have a bit of fun. Surface.
Wait,
Oh, did you hear that? Move it across. Keep going. Further to your right, Leo. Go to your right. See, it's going weaker. Go to your right. The other way, Leo. Keep going. Keep going. Ooh. No. Keep moving it. Move it around. Ooh. Oh.
Wait! Wait, can I have this pretty set? Oh!